fun, we have a couple of flat palmed hands, which would just be good for like a relaxed stance. We have these kind of slightly, what would you call these? These are like stance, like a cool stance, or you could be holding something. We have a couple of gripping hands, looking pretty good, and you got this one, which this is actually the first time I've seen a dedicated hand to holding this while it's on his belt. That's great. What a great piece to include. That actually makes me really happy, especially for Roman. Now, we have what seems to be two blades, but they're just doing that thing that a lot of brands do, primarily SHP yards, where you just get a dead, like, hand. A dead hand. What is that? Looks fine. It's pretty basic as far as paint and stuff goes. This is also pretty basic. Again, it has that little notch, similar to what we see with Demon Slayer, so you can just pop that on his waist. Looks good. Now, something really important to notice with this sword, and maybe you can't quite see that even in this review, but the blade is backwards. And this is, maybe less obvious because it's plastic, but the idea here is that he's seeking redemption. So he has this blade that essentially protects the person he's fighting, but puts himself in danger because that's kind of his whole thing right now. Is he's making up for all of his terrible things over the years of just wiping people off the earth. On by default, he's just got these kind of closed hands, not really fists, but closed hands. Boy. All right.
What's up, Shadow Falcon 6? How's it going?
Nice stern look. That's pretty cool.
Just gonna do a little bit of painting here.
That he's gonna have most of the time he's walking around. To the sculpt look really good. There's just
I'm good. It's a pretty chill day. I'm just watching some YouTube, hanging out. It's supposed to be a snowstorm where I am right now, which is pretty crazy because it's been super warm in the past few days. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Or you go the plastic route and just try to cut things up as best as you can. Now, a lot of this plastic is also very soft, so you can see here on the upper part, which should help with posing and gives it a little bit more natural look when it's kind of pushed and twisted a little bit.
About to go to work. Dang, that sucks.
And then from there,
I usually don't work on the weekends, so I'm lucky.
Details seem fine. Let's talk about the articulation because I'm curious about, it's SHP yards, man. These days, it's like you either got
What kind of work do you do, Shadow Falcon?
Or it could just be a loose piece of poop. But I don't know what year this came out. Look. I still don't know what year it came out. Now, this is made in China, which is good. Not a Vietnamese item, which we've had issues with. SHP yards had issues with. So we saw that the hairpiece, which is on
Electronics for Walmart. Oh, okay. So you're the guy that stands back in the video game section. I see. Well, appreciate what you do, what your job does for us that are looking for help and stuff like that. I used to work at Walmart as an online grocery pickup staffer, so I used to go around and pick up the groceries with the cart, bring them up back to their cars. So I worked for Walmart a little bit too.
Don't really have a great range when looking up. It popped off from the most complicated side.
Some fabric care ingredient help protect colors for starting early. Watch the
Sub Club members can get any foot long for just $6.99. All your favorites packed with crispy veggies and fresh sliced meats. Great bread, great meats, great sauce, great.
Let me dump this water and get some new. Well, I gotta go, but have a great stream. Thanks for stopping by, Shadow Falcon. Have a great shift.
Here's a fun one. Guys, pretend like you're holding up the building behind you. The picture. Yeah. How do y'all know each other? Friends? Speaker was in it.
Something amazing is happening here. More companies are turning to money. From finance to fulfillment, CDW supports Mac integration across your organization. With a
You try to make him look up his head so some keep coming. Perfect. So, all things considered, this is actually working really well. Hairpiece comes off much like many SHP yards, so we can swap those faces over. Arms go up. We have some really unique joints, man. I don't know how we have so many items from SH Fig Arts that are just all over the place with how they approach things. And it's just got to be teams, right? And why aren't they sharing information? Like, just build this thing identical to the Demon Slayer stuff. Although this could be before that. I don't know how old this is. Arms crossed pretty good, so the butterfly joints are definitely doing some work. But like I said, we have that kind of weird thing happening there. But that range altogether is actually pretty solid. So there's nothing to complain about as far as, you know, articulation range. It's just the looks of it. So even that's working really well despite the ugliness of it. We have posability inside the sleeve, which is definitely helpful, and then a ball peg for the wrists. Body articulation is probably a bit limited. Now, there could be a joint happening underneath this upper part, but it's hard to see if there is. And of course, we'll have some limited mobility because of the soft plastic. But he does bend over perfectly, leans back really well. So all things considered, and still doing, I think, everything you could really want out of something like this. And then the legs, which might be the most important part for this guy, because there's just so much going on here. Now this, I don't know, can we get this thing out of the way? That is our biggest limitation right now. It's all soft on the sides, but he can't really get his legs out too far. So you're definitely going to have a limitation for some of your poses. Now, I mean, for who he is and what he does, I think, yes, you can still get like a really good, you know, what am I trying to say? For who he is and what he does, that's still pretty good for the legs, but that part can certainly be annoying. I don't know why they would go that route. There's barely rotation here on the thigh because it is this kind of unique shape, so everything is just like hitting itself. Then you have this knee, which it's hideous when it's bent. This is interesting. I think, look, if you love the figure, love the character, rather, then this is probably going to be fine for you. There are some things to just really point out, like how obvious these cuts and things are whenever you articulate them. The leg is super loose down here because it's like a weird ball peg. There's nothing there to give it any strength. So I'm a bit concerned that if I pose this guy on his legs, that's just going to go whoop, whoop, and fall over. Toe articulation, basic ankle articulation, but man, and that's a serious concern. I feel like there are better ways to approach this than we've probably seen it, like I said, with Demon Slayer. These joints everywhere else feel very good, but this is like literally the most important one for him to stand, and he can't really do it. It feels a little outdated in a lot of ways for the articulation. The plastics and stuff just feel a little outdated. But looks-wise, very nice. And I'm sure that we're, you know, unless this leg can't stand up, we're going to have some really fun poses. I may need even a stand just to hold him up. And again, I love that they included this hand. This is such a common thing for someone that carries a sword around like this, is the gripping it here and then popping it from the sheath early so that you can pull it out faster. And for somebody that's been playing, already spent like over 100 hours playing Ghost of Yotei, having characters like this is really nice. It brings me some joy, and I really desperately need her in a figure, which I think is happening, but I don't know when or what it really looks like yet. So, if this is something that you wanted, is it worth getting? Yes. If you like the character, I think any of those flaws in the joints and things you would overlook because you love it. I mean, I've bought figures like the Figma Delicious and Dungeon line. They all are loose, falling apart figures that require a lot of attention to keep together, but I love them. So I love the show. So, Inferno Bradley, that is your real name. Should you buy this figure? Yes. I hope you enjoyed this catered video, essentially for you. Anybody else that watches it, well, that's a bonus. I hope you appreciate this, and I hope that you like this guy. And do you have him already? Or did you just want to see my opinion on it? Let me know, please. You usually just ask me to review this, and now that I've reviewed it, what am I going to say? What are your comments going to be going forward? I don't know. Is this it? Are you done? Are you no longer going to subscribe? Well, if you enjoyed this and you want to see the Demon Slayer figures get reviewed and upgraded, then be sure to click that playlist right there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
So I bring in the winning team. Yeah. That's why I switched to Google Pixel. Gemini, help me come up with a race win speed.
tons of Maine natural toothpaste can remove 95% of surface stains while
Hello, gang, and welcome to Displaying Mole Behavior Live. Only 9 minutes late. I sincerely apologize for that. I am doing my best to get back into a good waking routine. But boy, it's tough. Hey, do you guys have it where you just cannot switch off at night? Because that's what I'm finding right now. But not only am I awake when I want to go to sleep, but man, I'm tired when I get up. So the whole idea of doing these morning live streams, I'm going to be bright and fresh and ready to go. Whew, we're not there yet. It will be. That will be the case when I do get onto a good routine. But it is going to be a work in progress to get us there, gang. But don't worry, stick with me, and we're going to be there. At least we're back in full model behavior uniform. So it's a work in progress. Hair's growing back a bit, beard's coming in. We're starting to just acquiesce ourselves. That's not the right word, but still, we're starting to acquiesce ourselves. We're going to earn it, and own it as well. Cup of coffee. Let's get the lips and the mouth and the gums all working in unison, shall we? Oh, that's terrible coffee. I still haven't found a good instant coffee yet. I'm not a big connoisseur. I'm not one of those people who will walk into a random barista bar and be like, oh yes, I'll have the steam thing. I don't know. I don't know coffee, but I know what I like. And so far, I haven't found what I like yet. So that's a work in progress, but it is caffeine. And honestly, sometimes, the Beatles said love is all you need. They were close. Caffeine. Caffeine is what you need. That'll get you started. And then we can move on from there. And speaking of moving on from there, let's take a little look at who's in the chat. Because when it comes to the mole behavior community, we've got ourselves some humdingers right here. Who was first through the door? Z Studios. He said, finally you caught one, and yet I'm 10 minutes late. I hope you're still here to actually enjoy this. Fingers crossed, because we're going to be rocking and rolling now. But this is going to be a fun live stream. We're talking, and we can only have 10. That's it. Only 10 essential Wolverine characters that we have not had yet. And I'm not talking about just remakes or reboots, like not another Tiger Stripe. I'm talking 10 Wolverines that we have not had at all. That's going to be the exciting thing. And I will allow some debate, because I'm talking in the modern Legends line. If someone can say, oh yeah, but we had that Wolverine in the Toy Biz line in 2003, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We need some more modern stuff. Speaking of things that we need, Andrew, holy potatoes, man. Thank you so much, brother. 10 channel memberships. That is crazy generous of you. Only 10, you say? Did I say 10? I mean 100 essential Wolverine characters. No, dude, that's incredible. Thank you so much. 10 brand new channel members. Lads, welcome to the party, pal. And of course, you picked the right time to get randomly gifted a channel membership. That's totally out of your control, because boom, we're doing all the post shows. So we're going to be doing this Wolverine top 10 show for the next hour, and then after that, we're going to move on over to the channel members underground after party. So welcome to the party, gang. And dude, straight up, Johnny like Johnny like the spot, Johnny on the spot, and in like a shot, Feral Wolverine. Boom, prescribed drone, nailing it straight out of the gate. One of the main ones that I would love to see. And honestly, there are kind of two different versions of Feral Wolverine. Because there's the immediate Wolverine 100 Feral Wolverine, where he's very kind of monkeyish, big long arms, he looks like super feral. Adam Kubert did a fantastic job on that artwork. And then after that, he re-evolves, I guess you could say, back into a slightly more human persona, but still like hairier forearms. The teeth are sticking up out of his lower jaw. He's wearing a bandana. So it's a bit of a transition. So you could totally have two different feral Wolverines there. So great suggestion on that, dude. Andrew, once again, man, thank you so much for that. Let me start collecting some pictures. I'm going to collect some pictures as we go. So Marvel Comics, feral Wolverine. Because that is the biggest, like, bang of my 90s childhood right there. I absolutely adore me some feral, mutated Wolverine. And yeah, dude, some of the versions are ugly. I mean, real ugly. But some of them like less so. So I've saved a couple. I'm going to show you. I've saved a couple of like super ugly Wolverine. Sorry, Wolverine, but it is what it is. And then also there's a couple of the sort of less mutated ones as well. Because you could totally, if you wanted to, you could have two different spots on the list for feral and slightly less feral. Because by the time Onslaught came around, he was starting to turn a little bit more sort of human looking. It was still a work in progress, but we were getting there. It wasn't until Lionel Francis Yu took over the book that finally he kind of, I was going to say reverted him, but you know, it's an upgrade. He returned him to his classic Wolverine look. So let me share these pictures here, so we can all be on board with the feral Wolverines that we're talking about here, and I'll share the gallery with you so you can see what's up with this. So there we go. And I will take off Wolverine Adamantium Rage. That was on the not PlayStation, the Super Nintendo back in the 90s. Good fun game, that. Okay, so share screen. We are going to share this here gallery. Where is it? Hang on a second. Aha, this is the one. So yeah, as we were saying, it was Wolverine 100, where Genesis and the Dark Riders tried to put the adamantium back into Wolverine so that they could turn him into a horseman of Apocalypse. And he was like, yeah, that ain't happening. So instead he rejected the adamantium, forced it all out, and turned himself into this dude. And this is actually the coolest looking version of feral Wolverine here. Because various other artists would kind of like reinterpret him into this weird Sasquatch looking dude. And yeah, I wasn't a fan of that. Like it kind of went sort of very sort of monkeyish, I guess. But the original Adam Kubert feral Wolverine, that looked the business, man. That looked really, really great. So if we could get something more along those lines, that would be the absolute bomb right there. I'd be all over that. And then also, as I said, he eventually kind of evolved into a slightly less kind of monstrous sort of look. He wore the bandana and had the kind of the cut-offs and the bare feet. So it was a slow transition back to the good old James Howlett that we all knew and loved. Though we didn't know that his name was James Howlett by that point. All right, hey, Z Studios, you are still here. First through the door, 45 beautiful months as a channel member. Whoa, okay. Now, I'm going to have to put some caveats on this, all right? So, you're saying Honey Badger Scout, Fang Suit or Chest Tat Darken, 616 Wild Child, Albert Feral Wolverine, Weapon H, Darken Pelverine, Brew Queen. Dude, fantastic choices. But I want to make this a little bit harder. I'm not just talking about Wolverine characters that we need. I mean Wolverine himself, the old knucklehead. So many people say, oh, boo, we don't need more versions of Wolverine. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So I'm not talking about Wolverine adjacent characters, of which you have named some absolute bangers. Nah. I'm saying which actual Wolverine variants do we need? And you've got a couple on there. Certainly the Fang Suit. Fang Suit is a good bet. Let me just pop that down here. Fang Wolverine. I'm going to share a little picture with this guy. Because you could do a sort of a kit bash version, couldn't you? With the Fang body that we have now. But that's not really perfect for Wolverine. So doing a dedicated one, that's definitely more for the hardcore Wolverine classic fans, but there are plenty out there. So doing Wolverine in this particular costume, it could totally work. I mean, it was kind of lucky that the color scheme fits ideally for Wolverine. It's like, you know what? Close enough. looks kind of like a Temu Wolverine costume, so you can totally get away with that. And Joey B, 45 months of a channel membership, not one to be outdone. My 10, okay. I see you going for the Wolverine adjacent characters as well. That's absolutely fine, because I wasn't clear, but I'm being clear now, so I'm going to make life a bit harder for you. But you're suggesting 10. Silver Fox, Albert and LCD. Albert and LCD are probably two of my highest ones that I want for Wolverine-related characters. That's great. This is my laundry. I mean, that's a good setup there, isn't it? Still, Wolverine and LCD, Team X Wolverine. There you go. Yes, Team X. That's one. Is that like the Department H Wolverine, or is it a completely different team? Team X Wolverine. I feel like Team X would just get me. Oh yeah, it is the Department H look. Yeah, that's great with the black and gold. Totally. We could get Wolverine. We could get Sabretooth in there as well. You can throw Maverick into that display. That would be a real fun look together there. So yeah, I've got a little group photo here with Jackson, Sabretooth, Wolverine, Maverick, and Cruel as well. Was Cruel in that team? Or was that might have been an Elseworld story? Whatever it was, let's save these pictures here and I'll share them with you. Because that is a couple of good suggestions right there. Team X Wolverine. Listen, nice little bit of artwork as well from the X lives and the 10 lives of Wolverine. It's kind of badass right there. Nice little suggestion, dude. I'm digging it. I'm here for that. Non-Wolverine Darkling, Ultimate Wolverine. There's a couple of different Ultimate Wolverines, aren't there? Both of those would be good choices. You see, 10 might sound like a lot when you think, oh man, we have so many Wolverine figures. But then, once you start to rattle off a whole bunch of different versions of Wolverine, all of a sudden, it gets a little trickier to pick just 10. So Ultimate Wolverine, Yukio, Wild Child, Wild Thing, and Horseman Wolverine. Okay, so certainly the two Ultimates and Horseman Wolverine as well. Gonna add those to the list. Also, check out 90s Wolverine 77, Feral and Casual. Describe Drone, thank you so much for $2, brother. I'm very, very grateful. That goes a long, long way to keeping Dave alive. So thank you for helping support me and the show. That really means the world. Let's check out Wolverine 77. See what that looks like. Because I can't picture Wolverine 77. I know there's one comic around that time where he's got like he's shaved with slick back hair. I think he's in disguise. Looks really weird. If you can help me out with what issue that is. This is pretty badass looking actually. Kind of a battle damaged civilian Wolverine. I think, is this Adam Kubert's artwork? I think it is, because it's absolutely glorious. Look at that. Ooh, yeah, that is Adam Kubert. Yeah, I love that post Fatal Attractions look with the bandages and the wraps around his hands. If we got a figure like that with the torn up battle damaged shirt, all that kind of thing, oh man, that would look so awesome. So let me get Horseman Wolverine as well, before I forget that. Because Horseman Wolverine, that was a late 90s Wolverine look, where basically it was kind of a fun little mystery, because Wolverine got killed, or it looked like he got killed, and then when his body was examined, it was revealed that it was a Skrull. So they were like, wait a minute, so if the Skrull has been Wolverine for however long, then where is Wolverine? And it turns out that he was this guy who was running around being the Horseman of Apocalypse. I mean, to be honest, as soon as a crazy, scary dude who's about 5'4" is running around, you're like, hang on a second. This could only be one of so many people. But yeah, that was a really cool look right there. Whoa. Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what we're doing. Spider Wolverine, Iron, Venomized, Captain America. Slightly different shading on the tiger stripe. You see, that's what I'm talking about. There are so many different Wolverines out there. You're spoiled for choice. Who knows? What we're going this 3-pack. Logan, Darkman, and X-23 all have worn that costume, have they? I remember seeing X-23 in that costume. I don't remember seeing Darkman in that costume. So that's a fun little deep cut. Okay, and again, before I forget, as I'm so often inclined to do. Oh wait, also before I forget or before I miss it, we've got a little super chat ski. C Studios, dude, thank you, man. Darkin has been Wolverine Scout. Sorry, Darkin has been Wolverine Scout as a clone of X-23, who is a clone of Logan. Weapon H Albert also clones Eichel Fauser. Okay, but you know what? I will allow Albert, because I mean we're talking about characters that look like Wolverine, because Scout and X-23, they're more like daughters, because there must be some, I don't know, do they ever account for who the other DNA is? Because they can't just be clones, because if they're girls, then, or is it just literally Wolverine's DNA but with XX chromosomes? I don't know, man. What is the actual origin there? Is there a female counterpart, or are they straight up female clones? Because that makes a few questions. Hang on, let me plug the laptop in. Always forget that.
Upon opening the book, something shifted. And as she read, her thoughts rearranged. Explore your story.
Would you hire retail celebrity Zach Woods to inspire your teams?
Press your faces against each other.
Get ready for change, guys. Get ready for change.
Or just transform how they connect on an AI-powered teamwork platform? It's your choice.
It's here, the new party shop in Michael's. Discover hundreds of new party supplies, plus over 700 balloon styles. Celebrating is easier than ever with Michael's. Everything to celebrate anything.
With millions of listings on apartments.com,
And homes.com.
you're going to find virtually any place you can live.
It'll be quicker to list the places you can't, like,
A bungalow on top of all your base.
no, can't live here.
At the DMV.
On this impossibly perfect sandbar.
There you go. All right, now we're playing with power.
Now we're playing with power.
Okay, so I would absolutely say Albert, because Albert is like a full-on Wolverine-looking dude. So we've got the old Toy Biz one there, and of course some modern artwork. Absolutely, if you've got Albert, yeah, you gotta have LCD as well. Also, guys, see if you can beat He Who Knows, because I bet He Who Knows will get this first. What does LCD stand for? So I know it's a pun, it's a joke, LCD, because she's an android, and that's like a robot term. I know LED, light emitting diode, but what is LCD? What does that stand for? Well, I know that used to be used in like handheld video games and stuff. LCD, like an LCD screen, I remember. But yeah, help me out. Inquiring minds want to know, what does LCD stand for, and see if anyone can get the answer before he knows. Because I guarantee he's going to get in there like a shot, aren't you? Liquid crystal display. Who got it first? Andrew. Andrew, were you the first one to get it? I think you were. Andrew, huge big model behavior. No prize to you, good brother. But also, He Who Knows, you did get it. Also, yeah, Benjamin, congratulations. Al, I tell you what, that's what I love about this community. We got some smart mother hubbards in here. Liquid crystal display. That is why I remember it from the old handheld video games. All right, it all falls into place. So there you go. We also have the Ultimate Wolverine. Terrible picture. No good resolution. Man, let me see if I can get a better picture, because the Ultimate Wolverine deserves to be seen in full glorious detail, because it's such a badass costume. It's kind of simple, but it's very, very effective. Because yeah, it's just kind of it's the ninja mask, the face covering, Mortal Kombat 2 style ninja mask. It just looks the business on this dude. So I'm a big fan of that. And then of course, if they did an alternate head as well, so you can actually have a decent look at the face, or even like a battle damage mask. Oh, that would be wicked. I'd be all over that. So yeah, it's a shame I couldn't find a decent sized picture. We'll move on to that later. Boo, all our Wolverines, sir. How dare you try me, sir? My blind blow will destroy you in court. I demand my Darkwing Scout Alpha Weapon especially since you put LCD, who is way less of a loading. No. LCD would only come as part of a 2-pack. That's all I'm saying, okay? LCD comes with Albert. If anything, she is an accessory with Albert. That's what I'm saying, okay? I'll fight you on that one. But I'll fight you with love. But also, bear in mind, we're limiting ourselves to 10. We can only have 10 Wolverines. So if you're going to start including X-23 and Honey Badger, they probably won't make the cut. Because you've got to be brutal. You've got to be brutal. So we're looking for pictures of the other.
What up, multi-action figure verse? It's nice to see you again. Just doing some painting here. Watching some David displays model behavior, talking about some Wolverines.
Man, I can't believe that the Ultimate Comics were literally like 26 years ago. Woo! Boy, that time moves real freaking fast, doesn't it?
What's good with you?
There you go, that's a better pick for Ultimate Wolverine. So let's see, Ultimate Wolverine 2000. That'll do it. Where he had his little Ultimate Wolverine soul patch going on there, which is a choice. I think they tried to make Ultimate Wolverine kind of young, sexy, and hip. And it's like, no, Wolverine shouldn't be young and sexy and hip. He's supposed to be a grumpy, curmudgeonly old man. That's half the fun of Wolverine. Making him a cool, brooding, sort of, Twilight-looking young Dawson's Creek dude. Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. Ultimate Wolverine, new one. Yes, black and red look, badass.
Yes, sir. I found myself doing a lot more painting. I was even trying to paint up this shocker right here. I really don't have a brush that's small enough to get in those cracks and make it look neat. So far it's a little messy, but my the marker I had used previously, the Gundam marker, really just is not holding up. It's fading too much, so I went in there with some paint. I just need to find a better way to do it without getting it all messy, because my brush is not small enough. So if you have any ideas, multi-action figure verse, of how I can paint through those little cracks on his costume with a larger brush, I'm all ears. I tried using like a pencil, a pin, really anything I tried. It wasn't really working out.
Marvel get their version, and DC get their version. Mattel could make Dark Claw figures, and Hasbro could make Dark Claw figures, and then we could genuinely decide which ones we like the best. How great would that be? How wonderful! What a world to live in, where there was actually genuine competition. It would be a halcyon time, and then of course we have
Okay, now I gotta mix up that dark gray again.
Honestly, this one I don't think would make the cut. If it's just me making my decisions, as I'm often inclined to do, any randomized versions of characters, that's like, it could be fun to have, but it's still sort of bottom of the list, because there's more sort of essential, what I would feel essential comic book versions. Comic book versions and variants that we need. Whereas, a venomized look, everyone's been venomized at some point. Dude, I've been venomized at one point. It was a crazy weekend, but I got over it. But literally, everyone's had a syndicate at this point. Then give all my additions a Logan head, and boom, the picture's just packed in Smal Logan heads. You're stretching credulity, but I admire that, because you're being stubborn. And if anyone knows anything about being stubborn, it's this guy over here. Zombie Wolverine from the comics need more Marvel zombies badly. I tell you what, it's so interesting how split.
It's really fun to paint rocks, is what I'm realizing.
People either love them or hate them. Me, it's funny. I love zombies, but Marvel zombies just never did anything for me. I'm just like, I just don't really care about them. But I know that loads of people do. So with that being the case, I will add Zombie Wolverine to the list. But I don't think he's going to go far. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think he's going to go far in contention because trying to whittle these down to just 10, that's a tough call right there. Although having said that, that does look pretty brilliantly horrific. I do love me some spooky, scary artwork. That's what that is. That is some spooky, scary artwork. I got a lot of time for that. You know me, I don't have much time. Hasbro makes the original comic version of Dark Claw, and Mattel makes the animated series version. Perfect. There you go. How about that? That would be absolutely fantastic. How about Wolverine's previous long sleeve costume he had during Marvel Now? Oh, was that the one that was kind of like armored with the X when he lost his healing factor? Marvel Now Wolverine. Because yes. I tell you what, I'll share this, of course. I don't think this looked hideous. I don't think it looked great, but it wasn't an awful costume. It looks like a little bit sort of stealthy. So yeah, again, might not make the top 10, but having the handgun as well and just kind of mixing things up a little bit, I think it's okay. I think if he lost the sleeves, it would look a lot better. Wolverine with sleeves never makes sense. It never looks good. But I've got some time for that. Cold Kid, 36 months. We got some long-standing channel members in the house today. Battle Damage Tiger Strike versus Omega Red. Yes. With the sort of cybernetic parts kind of showing through his arms. It's funny because Wolverine in the early 90s was often drawn like that, where it's like the flesh was ripped away and it almost looked like he was a cyborg underneath. Like sometimes artists sort of felt like, no, it's not just his bones, he's got like a layer of metal under his skin or whatever. And it's like, no, that's definitely never been the case. But there we go. So yeah, there's obviously the very famous Jim Lee cover. And having just talked trash about that, I'm not going to give Jim Lee artistic advice. I think he's doing okay. But yeah, if we have this picture here, famous Wolverine versus Omega Red, you can see it on his forearm. You get that a lot. Like it's cool. It's cool detail. But at the same time, it sort of looks almost kind of cybernetic. I guess the idea is maybe literally all the flesh is ripped away, and you can see sort of where the claws go into their sheaths inside the bone or whatever. But still, it makes him look a bit like a Terminator. Also, before I read the comic, I had this as a trading card, and I always thought that Omega Red had like long, spindly fingers that he had wrapped around Wolverine's neck. I didn't realize those were tendrils, so I was like, that looks weird. I don't know about that. But I tell you what, that could make quite a fun 2-pack. Not that I want to encourage Marvel Legends to give us more action figure taxes, but if they wanted to justify the work of doing a Battle Damage Tiger Strike Wolverine, you could absolutely do a 2-pack with Omega Red. That can work out pretty well. I'd kind of like to see that. Now, what have we got here? Marvel Now Wolverine actually looks kind of like X-Men Evolution Wolverine. I can kind of see some similarities. So certainly with like the triangle point going down and the slightly more orangey costume. Mattel should do a Rey Mysterio Wolverine costume. Did Rey do a tribute with Wolverine? Because I know he loves his tribute costumes. Especially for so yes, of course he did. I remember this now. I tell you what, I will
Anybody in chat see the Spider-Man custom, or not the custom? What am I saying? The SH Figure Arts kind of reveals, and what are your thoughts on that? I think a lot of people already have it in hand in Japan, so I'm a little jealous because it looks pretty awesome. I'm not a big fan of the articulation. I don't know why SH Figure Arts can't just do a good waist crunch, but I mean the overall look of the figure is absolutely amazing in my opinion. Except for I do think I'll be customizing those web lines with a black Gundam marker, and hopefully that holds up over time.
And have a leak guard braid, a clean steel wrapper, and a comfort grip. Tampax. Get radiant. Get more. This is Vista, with nothing held back.
Try text now. The only phone service with unlimited talk and text plus data for essential apps, all for free. It's not magic. Text Smal saves you money. Download now.
Holes in your data costing you deals? See the full picture with HubSpot.
Exactly. It was a good costume, but I didn't like the way that, like, he had like just like a blue posing pouch. It's like, no, that looks like a mankini banana hammock. Like, you need the actual blue around the sides as well. That looks a bit weird. But besides that, that's cool. And if we're talking Wolverine variants, hey, that is very much a Wolverine variant right there. I really want Wolverine's Blood Berserker skin from Marvel Rivals. Ooh, Blood Berserker skin. Let's take a little look at this. Blood Berserker Rivals. Oh, so this is kind of a. This looks like a Van Helsing. Oh, because it's all blood, blood blade vampire thing. I get you. That actually does sound kind of cool. Anything sort of cowboy sort of related to Wolverine that's kind of badass. That is pretty wicked. Again, I don't know if it would make a top 10, but it is kind of fun. It is kind of fun. It is kind of badass. Yeah, you do got to include X-Men Evolution Wolverine. I hated the cartoon, but people like the suit. People do like the suit, but people are also stupid babies. So, you know, stupid babies. We're all allowed to like what I like. That was a Freudian slip. You're all allowed to like what I like. But yeah, let's get Wolverine Evolution on here. X-Men Evolution. X-Men Evolution. There we go. And yes, X-Men. So, did people not like X-Men Evolution? I thought they did. Or is that Wolverine and the X-Men? Is that what people preferred? Because I never watched any of those. You know, for me, if it wasn't the 92 lineage, chronology, I wasn't interested. But I know a lot of people keep asking for this. So, maybe, if I'm feeling generous. If I'm feeling generous, I might allow it. But I don't know. We'll wait and see. I kind of prefer Marvel Now to X-Men Evolution. X-Men Evolution, I think, is a fun reinterpretation. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's just giving a slightly different take. And I kind of dig that. Now, you say Alex Ross concept art costume. Is that not a lot like sort of the Ultimate Wolverine? Let's take a little look. Wolverine Alex Ross concept. Because also there's the Earth-X Wolverine. Yes. It's a little bit Ultimate Wolverine. But of course with the orange in there as well, a little bit Marvel Now, actually. I think it's a lot more like Marvel Now Wolverine. Take a little look at this here. That would be an interesting line for Hasbro to do if they wanted to, with the concept costumes. I'm not saying I want to go back, because you know I'm a comic book traditionalist. I like my classic comic book styles, but mixing things up a little bit. I think with all the stripes, all the triangles going in, I think it looks a bit too busy. Looks a bit too busy, and it needs something to break up the waist a bit more. But again, just like Jim Lee, I'm giving this legendary artist artistic advice. It's like, you know what I would do, Alex Ross? You know how I think I would make your work look better, Alex Ross? Sit down and let me tell you. maybe not. But also, there's the Earth-X Alex Ross Wolverine, which is not the most flattering version. And I remember getting this in Wizard magazine. It was Wizard magazine had a preview of Earth-X, and actually there's two different versions that they that Alex Ross did, both based off of actors. There was a Danny DeVito looking Wolverine, and there was
Was it Robert Loggia? I think he based his look off of. It looked awful. But it was supposed to. It was meant to be like a tired looking Wolverine. So actually, yeah, the Danny DeVito Wolverine was just a random little sketch that he did for Wizard magazine. But I want to try and find the Robert Loggia Wolverine. But it was definitely something that he did. Robert, I have no idea how to spell Loggia. I'm Robert Loggia. And that sounded more like Mike from Breaking Bad. That's okay. I can't find it. Well, oh no, there it is. There it is. Yeah. I mean, I say it's Robert Loggia. I think that's what it looks like. I think that's what the design was based off of. Maybe you guys can help me out with that if you heard the interviews with Alex Ross. But there you go. That was how Alex Ross pictured Wolverine and Jean Grey in the Earth X miniseries. And all I can say is, woof. I think sort of the idea was that Wolverine's healing factor eventually packed up and stopped working, but he refused to admit it. So he kept smoking and drinking and just got horribly out of shape. Sorry, it was cold. Excuse me, I cleared my throat there. I would love some more Sabretooth representation in general. I tell you what, maybe coming up in the future we're going to have to do the top Sabretooth figures that we still need. Another cool rival skin is Weapon Phoenix with the X, where he gets the Phoenix Force. Be a sick figure. People are always asking for the Phoenix 5 collection. I can see the appeal of that, certainly. But also, one that I was just forgetting, I think someone might have mentioned earlier, was the recent Age of Revelations. Age of Revelations Wolverine. Because that's kind of cool. It's Wolverine with this silver skull mask. I'm not sure why he's wearing a silver skull mask, but I'm not mad about it. I think it looks pretty awesome. So I could see the appeal of doing a version of the character like this. So he's wearing sort of like a, Ronin, samurai, wanderer type robes, but then with this wicked, cool silver skull mask on the top there. Like, that looks kind of badass. Looks a bit like a combination of Wolverine, Akuma, and the Terminator. You smoosh all of those together, you got yourself a good-looking Wolverine design. I got a lot of time for that. And you know me, I don't have much time. But I think that was pretty wicked. I haven't read Age of Revelation. Let me know, gang, if any of you guys have actually read Age of Revelation, because I've heard mixed things about it. I'm not a big Elseworlds type, ultimate timeline sort of person. It feels like whatever happens doesn't have too much staying power. But it looks like some fun redesigns at least. I'd just like for a company like LPZZ or InArt to do a comic Wolverine. I don't care if it's brown costume or tiger stripes. Man, could you imagine? That's something we're really sort of lacking. Is one of these new up-and-coming companies to do some Marvel characters. DC seems to get good representation. We've got LPZZ and InArt, and we've got Bond Studios as well, doing some amazing Superman and Batman figures. Where are our Marvel figures? That's what I want to see. I'm guessing maybe Disney, a little bit tighter with the license, maybe a little bit more litigious, and they're like, no one gets to do Disney characters besides the ones that we've already okayed, which is a real shame, because you're absolutely right. An LPZZ style Wolverine done the way that they've done their Batman characters, it would be a it would be dangerous, to be fair. Actually, I was going to say it would be a halcyon, wonderful thing, but also it would be very, very threatening for our wallets, because that'd be a lot, man. That would be a lot. Wolverine Noir. I forgot there even was a Wolverine Noir. That's just kind of like a bit of a gangster kind of looking Wolverine. So good call, good deep cut. Because I forgot that was even a thing. But it's kind of just Wolverine in a suit. I'm trying to find a decent kind of picture here. But yeah, I'll add this to the list. But I think if we were cutting these down, which of course we will be doing, if we're cutting these down, Wolverine Noir probably wouldn't make the list because he's not that dissimilar to just, your average looking Wolverine in a t-shirt. How's about young Wolverine? How's about James Howlett? Wolverine Origins. James Howlett, like proper baby Wolverine, with his little bone claws and his night dress, looking adorable. That would be kind of a fun sort of timeline. Again, you want to talk about your multi-packs? Hasbro do love their multi-packs. You could do a fun Wolverine timeline set. You got James Howlett going to regular Wolverine, then you could have kind of like a Days of Future Past, old man Logan kind of stuff. That could be a fun little set, actually. Oh, Immortal Slayer. You could absolutely do a top 50. The lists are almost endless, considering how many different versions and variants and costume Wolverine's had over the years. You never run out of options. That's why we're limiting ourselves. We're saying, no, we've got to make this hard. We've got to go 10, and that's it. I mean, we've got 20 minutes left of this live stream, so in 10 minutes, we're going to cut these down, snippy snip style, to the final 10 Wolverines we're going to go for. But first, trying to refresh my cup of wine. Don't worry, I'm not going far. Okay, whoosh, there we are. All right, we're gonna get recaffeinated to continue this little trek down Wolverine memory lane. Let's see what else we're looking at. Diamond Patch is an awesome costume. It's from a video game. Would that be Marvel Rivals? Let's take a little look here. I'm guessing if I put Diamond Patch, might get something in the Frost related. But let's take a little look here. Diamond Patch. Yeah, that's actually not a video game one, I don't think. Is that like the sort of the Elseworlds Warp World? Yeah, it's like the son of Wolverine and Emma Frost, which isn't technically Logan, but just for visual reference, I can share that with you. So we've got this interesting looking guy with, I guess those are diamond claws. It's kind of interesting. I kind of dig it as a weird, unusual look. Nova 2099, where Wolverine became the last living member of the Nova Corps. Yeah, I remember seeing that comic recently. That was only like last year or so, wasn't it? Yeah, but that was a fun, weird look. I kind of dug it. So yeah, it's basically Wolverine mashed up with Nova, and it's just like you would imagine it would look. Let me see if I can find a decent picture of it here. You got him tussling with Spider-Man 2099. Let's share that picture. Oh, actually, I've got a better one over here. Because yeah, Wolverine Nova mashup. That's definitely, that if Hasbro ever announced that, people would be furious. They'd be like, "What? We don't have this character, but we've got Nova Wolverine." And the answer would be, yes, that's right. Mangaverse Wolverine. Dude, I remember the Marvel Mangaverse from the late 90s, wasn't it? Mangaverse. Yeah, the late 90s, Marvel went in with that, and having said that, he doesn't look that sort of unique. I mean, he's kind of cool. He's got one hand that's got like laser claws, and oh my goodness, the claws are longer than he is tall, but that's still kind of fun. Certainly, a very anime-looking Wolverine would be a fun sort of version or variant to have there. I mean, look at that. That's kind of over the top, but sort of cool too. I do appreciate a bit of a different aesthetic sort of look. Sip of coffee for the working man over here.
We got you covered, Bumblebee. My life is I'm stuck on Benny Brand, 'cause Benny's stuck on me.
Need balloons? The new party shop at Michael's has over 700 balloon styles to choose from. Just tap and schedule in-store pickup or same-day delivery. Balloons just got easier. Michael's, Everything to celebrate anything.
Hey, greetings to you over in Ireland. I want to get back over to Ireland at some point in the next year or so. I want to visit my family in Limerick. It'd be lovely. I like the little casino reference you did there. Dude, help me out. I'm sure that I did do a casino reference without even realizing it. But what was that? Because I don't know. What was the casino reference? Because I probably quoted something without even realizing that it was a quote from somewhere. I probably knew that it was a quote, but I couldn't place it. So what was the casino reference? Diamond Patch is a fusion of Logan and Emma. Certainly makes sense. Yeah, looking at the dimensions and the look of the character, that absolutely works. Yes, I've heard various things about that man from Nantucket. You can thank the people of Limerick for those. Right, I tell you what, let's take a look at what we've got and what we can say are the definitive 10 that we need. Oh, and finally, there's Wolverine in... Is there an Asgardian Wolverine? Let's take a little look, see if the Google machine has anything. Asgardian. Oh, interesting. Wolverine's Uru armor. That's kind of a crazy look. I dig it. Let me share this with you here. Sort of fiery, spiky looking kind of design. There aren't a lot of good pictures coming up on Google, but I tell you what, there's sort of a little CGI render on here, but that will do the job. Actually, this looks like, is it from the Fear Itself storyline? There's probably a couple of different, like, Uru or Asgardian Wolverines, but that's kind of cool. It looks like Wolverine from hell. I dig it. I dig it. Kind of like the Tom Savini Jason. How about Governor General James Howard with his glorious moustache? I didn't even know that one. Hey, he who knows. Welcome back to the party, brother. You said you were going to join when you got the chance. I appreciate you doing so. You're going to be able to join in the channel members after party after this one. Wolverine in Asgardian suit from Uncanny X-Men Annual 9. Okay, Wolverine is going to be a deep cut. Uncanny X-Men Annual.
What's up, Justin Jr.?
What do we got?
How you
What do we
doing?
got? Okay, unfortunately there's no specific Wolverine image I can find, just the front cover. I would need to dive deeper into that, so I might have to do a little bit of due diligence at some point. All right, let's take a look.
Okay, I'm thinking this is coming close to being done here.
Be a little bit brutal because there's only so many. Also, Joey, you're saying, isn't Governor James Howler from the universe where he and Hercules are together? Oh, if that's the case, it's adorable. I'm sure they'll make a lovely couple. Right, I'm gonna stop sharing this image, this gallery here, and we're gonna start to put together the 10 essentials. And like I said, we gotta be brutal. Okay, we gotta be brutal. So let me just bring up a new set to share with you guys. Hang on a second, let me just filter these out here. There we go. Okay, let me share the screen with you. Again, I need a man in the chair doing this for me. There we go. So I've got the first two. All right, and I know this should be a democracy. Well, guess what? It's a behaviorocracy. But Albert would be great because, first of all, evil cyborg doppelgangers are always badass. You gotta love one. Plus, you get the bonus character of LCD as well. So that's perfect. So already you get an extra bonus character. It would be kind of a 2-pack. It would be a 1.5 pack. So you get Albert, plus you get the bonus LCD as well. Bit of extra bang for your buck. We don't have a true giant-sized #1 Wolverine yet. Benjamin, what is different about giant just
Snowing.
Tiger Stripe. That's not me being like, oh no, boo. But I genuinely can't tell the difference. So yeah, let me know, because I'm going to bring up the image here. I mean, I can't see what this dude has on his costume. The kind of your regular Tiger Stripe Wolverine is missing. So help me out. Is it just that the mask is a little more sort of pointed upwards, or is there some big sort of design choice that my dumbass can't see? Because that would often be the case. It's mostly the belt and mask. Okay, I mean those are just sort of minor aesthetic changes, aren't they? Is the belt like a normal sort of belt buckle? The mask design is very different, and the stripes and proportions are a little different. Okay, so it's the same design, but just little sort of tweaks, little sort of aesthetic tweaks. I do appreciate that, yeah, the mask, rather than going out to the side and up, it's more like sort of straight up, almost. I totally get that. The Tiger Stripes we usually get have the X on the belt. Giant Size has a normal belt buckle. Me personally, I'm always a normal belt buckle kind of guy. I much prefer the normal belt buckle plus the smaller shoulder pads. Okay, I think that's fair. That's a fair variant option to go for. However, I don't think for me personally it's unique enough to justify a place in the top 10. So right now, I think the top 10 starts out as Albert and Adam Kubert, Feral Wolverine. And also, it's got to be Adam Kubert Wolverine. I'm not going to give any sort of other random sort of interpretations. A lot of different artists had a lot of different ideas as to how they wanted to do that Wolverine. And to be fair, I'm sure communication wasn't that easy. And different people drawing different things at different times. It was going to be very hard to get a uniform Feral Wolverine look. But in his very first appearance, I think Adam Kubert nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Howlett has Olympian adamantine instead of adamantium. Adamantine is golden color and gives him some extra protection from magic and telepathic infusion. Yeah, and look at adamantium armor as well. Didn't you? Around that time. That's what I'm going to save for a future video. The armor. That was the one. Because yeah, it looks, maybe you could argue, a little bit silly, but kind of fun. It's not like it was a permanent costume change or anything, but yes, we had for the briefest of times. Oh, that was in the Sabretooth story, wasn't it? Awful story. But the Sabretooth Wars, he had this full-on adamantium armor. That was a low point in Wolverine history, I feel. I actually did read that story, and it was just the most trashy, edgelord. The 80th Hulk 2-pack Wolverine with a different head is the best option for Giant Size. Good call, Jack. You're right. Also, the Mezco has kind of that classic look too. Or at least has the belt buckle too. New Ultimate Wolverine is got to make the cut. You know what? I'm inclined to agree with you, brother. I'm going to take off the adamantium armor, because we only had that for a reference. But Ultimate Wolverine, yeah, I think that's an absolute essential there. Because it's modern, it's up to date, it's a simple design with the face mask, it's kind of badass. I've got a lot of time for that. So I'd happily stick with that version. I need to go back and read more of the Ultimate comics, because I know that they're going to be very good. And Spider-Man's almost finished now. I read a lot of Spider-Man, but I kind of fell out of it, so I'm going to go back and catch up with that. Custom head sculpt and the Hulk Wolverine 2-pack in Giant Size design. And how it was in Exiles, I remember this version. Yeah, I remember what we're talking about. And yes, Bill Lawful Steel Thoughts in the chat. It's one of the other things he does. Okay, so we're making some progress now. So we have 3 officials. We have Albert, Feral, and Ultimate Wolverine. Let's see what else we got. Okay, another one. I absolutely say must have. Even though it's the least likely one, we've got to have Dark. And I know we're going a little bit high in the sky this, but that's okay. I'm happy to go high in the sky because it's our little fantasy list, and this is one that I'm absolutely just. The day we get this is the day that we can finally confirm. Hey, you know what? After all this time, we are living in the best time. It finally happened. We get Darklaw, we get Spider-Boy, Super Soldier, all the different amalgam characters. As ridiculous as a lot of them are, they're a whole lot of fun. Not Wolverine toenails. Oh, we need the feral Wolverine toenails, brother. I mean, come on, I want the full gnarly details of the Adam Cuba feral Wolverine. And I'm still going to vote for Zombie Wolverine. I want to have a full Marvel horde. I've got to admit, I know Zombie Wolverine would sell. People want it. He's not called Batman height or Wolverine height. I think he's Wolverine height. Because some of the amalgam characters, like they kept the original look of one of the characters and sort of gave them the properties and powers. Because actually there's a Bruce Wayne equivalent in the amalgam universe. There's Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So you have the physical. So yeah, Darkfall looks like Wolverine. And then you got Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., who's Bruce Wayne. So yeah, they did sort of physically match up their looks. It was just more Wolverine with Batman's origin. That's a shame. If it was Batman, I'd buy that figure. Well, Z Studios, we're a long way. We're a long way from seeing that happen, but you never know. Interestingly, yeah. So Wolverine and Bruce Wayne were kept as two separate physical bodies, whereas his villain, was it the hyena? It was either they called him the hyena or the jackal. Was a combination of Sabretooth and the Joker. And that was literally like a physical combination. Whereas like Sabretooth got like the Joker's sort of face, Silver. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, definitely. Keeping the amalgam real. Like, this is the thing Magneto and the Magnetic Man. Like, he was still just Eric Lensher. It's like, dude, you're not even trying to amalgamate. I thought the recent Deadpool Batman comic, the second print, only because the cover had a badass Batman suit with Deadpool colors. I tell you what, I wasn't a fan of that story. I love the fact it happened and the artwork was fun and all that kind of thing, but it felt I only read one. I think it was Batman Deadpool. But either way, like it was all just like a dream. Like it didn't have any kind of like real world consequence or anything. It felt very much like Wolverine Deadpool movie, where it's just like a bunch of random surreal skits that it was all kind of in the Deadpool mind palace, and like there's no gravitas to what's going on. I wanted a real kind of stories that had a little bit more grit and value to it, but we don't always get what we want. You know what? For pure sales numbers, even though I'm not a fan, I'm willing to go for Zombie Wolverine because I know that there are people who do enjoy their zombie hordes. So you can get your Zombie Wolverine, all right? your big zombie babies. enjoy your gross disgusting Wolverine figures. Looking forward to the upcoming Spidey season. Me too. I feel like that one's going to have a lot more up to it. I do miss my Marvel fanny pack from the 90s. Dude, fanny packs are great, or bum bags, as we call them in the UK. So convenient, and I think more people should wear them because they just if you don't have a great big rucksack on your back, just a little fanny pack, keep your essentials in there. I just looked it up. Google said Darklaw's actually 6 foot tall. Well, smack my ass. There you go. All right. I guess they gave Wolverine a bit of extra height there. But he certainly looks like James Howlett Wolverine. I guess they just agreed to give him a few extra inches in height. So then we have a bit of a controversial one. We've got the Marvel Now Wolverine, which some people, Joey, aren't fans of. I think he looks kind of cool. I like the X design, giving something a little bit different, a bit of a nod towards the Alex Ross kind of look. I I like it. I got a lot of time for it. And also, similar to the zombie, the zombie, I don't want this, but I know a lot of people do, and that's X-Men Evolution. Because what I don't want, I don't want to encourage Hasbro to do this, is to start doing this more alternate lines, but they're never going to finish. Because you know, if you get Wolverine in the X-Men or X-Men Evolution, if you get an X-Men Evolution Wolverine, I hope you're not planning to get the rest of the team, because that ain't gonna happen. I mean, is it X-Men Evolution that has Goth Road? Because Goth Road, if they did Wolverine, I think that would probably open the door to Goth Road. I think that would make a lot of people very, very happy. So I can appreciate there being a certain market for that. Honestly, I'd buy that. The DC component of Magneto and Magnetic Men was Dr. Will Magnus, the creator of Metal Men. Okay, so there was some counter in there as well. Remove the cape, swap the head for Dark and Wild Child. Okay, so there's all sorts of mashups that you can enjoy. He kind of looks like a member of the Serpent Society. Who's that? Who looks like a member of the Serpent Society? I'm losing track. I need to keep up with the chat. That's my bad. I was falling behind. Do you think at some point, there we go, I can feel this now. Do you think at some point Marvel Legends will give some love to a Fantastic Four? I feel like there's a Spider-Man and X-Men related characters in huge cult reveals, but rarely for Marvel's first family. Actually, yes. Sorry, really funky voice today. But probably because I'm not used to live streaming so much. But I get back into the habit. Yes, definitely. We're going to get, I think, quite a good representation of Fantastic Four this year, because they are already hinting towards Mole Man, and Mole Man was on the league list, so we should get Mole Man coming up very soon. Plus, also on the league list was some Future Foundation, so we might get the full Future Foundation team as well. So considering that over the last couple of years, we've got Franklin and Valeria, we've had Dragon Man, now we should be getting Mole Man and the Future Foundation. We're starting to get a bit more of Marvel's first family represented, so that's good to see. And Goth Rogue and Emo Wonder. Emo Wonder. I didn't even know that there was an Emo Wonder. I'm gonna have to look some of these up. Rogue as the basket case from the Breakfast Club. Yes, Rooster. That's the Rogue that we all love. There's an Evolution Wolverine figure. There is, but it's very, very old. Not sort of a classic Marvel Legends sort of style, but you're absolutely right. There's a bang-on animated style one. X-Men Evolution is the origin of Goth Rogue. I thought that was where she appeared first, where they had the wonderful animation reference from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer as well. Justice for Red Ghost. I tell you what, Red Ghost would be great, because there's so many just generic monkey, gorilla, ape action figures out there that you could assemble Red Ghost and the Super Apes, no problem. So all they got to do is just give us Red Ghost. We can do the rest. You can go onto Amazon and buy a gorilla and an orangutan. That's easy. How about Wedding Day Wolverine in his Japanese robes? Yes, that's one that I actually forgot. I think we all forgot. It was just like,
You guys, Wendy's tiene nuevos Biggie Deals desde solo $4. Ahora tú decides qué tan Biggie quieres ser, which is kind of beautiful. No estoy llorando, estoy llorando. More Biggie options para más de lo que quieres en Wendy's.
Always Flex Foam stays dry and fresh. See what foam can do for you.
With millions of listings on apartments.com
And homes.com.
you're going to find virtually any place you can live.
It'd be perfect if it's the places you can't, like,
A bungalow atop home location.
no, can't live here.
At the DMV. On this impossibly petite sandbar. It's Philadelphia.
Every team deserves an extraordinary meeting experience, but sometimes obstacles get in the way. That's why we created the IntelliMix Bar Pro.
Samurai, Japanese Wolverine. Sort of a, because yes, you can absolutely have wedding day Wolverine, but I would kind of go more, for me, for my own personal taste and choice, because also it's just kind of badass. I would go sort of a more classic, traditional, sort of samurai Ronin sort of Wolverine. because that would be a really fun. My voice is losing today. That would be a really fun look for the character, which of course, whoever did this artwork, nice touch with the cigar in his mouth as well. That's one thing. Actually, that's why we need more third-party Wolverine figures. Because of course, official Disney Wolverine figures are never going to have Wolverine with a big stogie in his mouth. We're never going to see that. But if a third party could give us a big old smoking Wolverine, that would be a lot of fun to have. Rogue is a crazy situation. Goth Rogue is incredibly fitting for her character, and yet Southern Belle Rogue is insanely iconic. Very true, very, very true. Goth Rogue just opened up a certain little piece of our hearts in the mid-2000s. Rogue, I guess, is just very cool, well-known character. She is. Rogue has stood the test of time. Hey, good to see you, brother. And Rooster. Isn't Wolverine just a wolf in Peach Momoko's feudal Japan novel? Are we getting some cool articulated animals, especially with G.I. Joe? Oh, no, we are. Is that the case? I haven't read Peach Momoko's Japanese X-Men stories, but if Wolverine is just a straight-up wolf, it's kind of fun. I mean, hey, there are wolf action figures out there, so you can kind of put one together yourself. I mean, certainly Snake Eyes came with a wolf, didn't he? So there you go. You've pretty much got one. Building a Kirby era rogues gallery would be great, and I'd really love some figures for Rocky Grimm's Space Ranger. Wow, dude, you are going way outside my wheelhouse of knowledge, but that's kind of fun. All right, we have hit the top of the hour, so we've got to figure out this official 10 list here. So, how many do we have in the official list? Dave's official list. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we've got 8 so far, but we still have yet to include Horseman Wolverine, and we definitely got to have Horseman Wolverine in here. Oof, actually, we're going to run out of spaces very quickly. So, yeah, first of all, I definitely want to have Horseman of Apocalypse Wolverine. And then actually, I'll tell you what, then we've got Team X Wolverine, and I think that might just officially do it. Okay, Gary, I think inside of 1 hour, I think we might have just hit our official 10 most essential Wolverine characters, or Wolverine variants that we haven't had yet. How many Toybiz Spy Wolverine repaints we got? Plus 10 and 2-inch metal. It's insane that Hasbro is turning a blind eye on the Origins version. Give it time, you never know. Omega Red 2-pack with the battle damage. Cold Kid, I would be very tempted to swap out something for that. You know what? I think I will. I'm gonna be brutal. I am gonna get rid. Who do we get rid of? I tell you what, it might be controversial and people might be upset with me, but I think I'm gonna have to get rid of either Zombie or Evolution. Okay, gang in the chat, tell me right now, Evolution or Zombie? Who gets booted? All right, who gets booted? Evolution or Zombie? Because as Rooster said, Samurai is an instant yes. And Joey, hey, you got good taste, bro. What can I say? Remove ugly ass Marvel Now. No, I like Marvel Now because at least it's 616. So I'm sticking with 616. We're saying, oh, this is split right down the middle. This is kind of interesting to see. The evolution, zombie, evolution, zombie, evolution. This is a coin toss. This is an absolute coin toss right here. Okay, I tell you what. I hate to break some hearts, but I'm gonna have to break some hearts. Okay, yeah. Let's make a poll. I never normally do these, and I'm not sure how to do it in StreamYard. Let me see if I can do a learning experience here, because I think polls are mostly.
Tax Act can help small business owners easily knock out their taxes, because Tax Act loves small businesses. Especially the ones that make empanadas. Tax Act. Let's get them over with.
This noise level is deafening.
The
gets that it's not just any mascara, it's your favorite. So go ahead, lock in tonight's dinner res while a shopper hits your must-have brand and delivers it right to your door. Try it today at shift.com.
Is it in media assets? Put the look here. It's not in media assets. Let me see if I can very quickly just figure out how to do this. If not, don't worry about it. I'm not going to waste your time. But yeah, I'm using StreamYard, and it's not so straightforward how to do a poll. So I think I might have to leave that until next time. Unless, actually, is it in the settings? Hang on a second. I'd love to be able to do that. Visual content, blah, 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 blah. No, I can't see how to do a poll. I will look into that for next time, because that would be really fun to be able to do that. Yeah, I thought it might just be on YouTube. It's really annoying that YouTube's live stream capabilities don't have as many options as StreamYard. Yeah, unfortunately, Z Studios, yeah, that doesn't appear in StreamYard that I'm using to stream with. But hey, you know what? Don't worry. All it means is that Evolution Wolverine has to go. It's go. So, sorry, Evolution Wolverine. The fact that you're not an official comic book version means I'm afraid you're getting not just cut, but adamantium cuts. So yeah, Evolution Wolverine is built in a bit for this one, because I don't think Hasbro would be starting a completely separate line. And if they did, they would never finish it. So I'm saving you heartache, because you would buy your X-Men Evolution Wolverine, and then you can open for the rest of the team, or at least Goth Rogue, but it just wouldn't happen. Marvel Hasbro made a Brood Infected Wolverine, I believe. Yes, they did. And actually, like, it's kind of silly, but it's kind of fun, too. I can't remember if we're voting to keep or kick. Don't worry, we picked Evolution, so you got what you wanted. That's okay. Good call. We haven't done any other Evolution figures, but we have zombie figs. Yeah, there you go. That does make sense. I tell you what, there's a few tough ones that didn't make the cut, because I would have quite liked to have had Age of Revelation Wolverine with the Silver Skull mask. I think that looked kind of cool. The Symbiote Wolverine would have been sort of fun. But I think on the whole, we've made some good choices here. So the final rundown, let me just make sure we got 10 here. So Albert, Feral, Ultimate, Ronin, Horseman of Death. It was Death, wasn't it? Then Battle Damage, Tiger Strike, Department of T-Max, Dark Claw. Never gonna happen, but man, it'd be so cool. It might do, you never know. I shouldn't rule out hope. Then Zombie Wolverine, and finally Marvel Now Wolverine. Marvel Now, a controversial that Joey's not a fan of, but you know what? I think it's kind of fun. I think it's kind of a fun looking costume. Hey, Cherry Caramel, you got here just at the end, just in the nick of time before I sign up and go into the channel members section. I won't buy either, but hey, I just want the most people to be as happy as they can. Z Studios, that is what model behavior is all about. Lifting people up. That's what you got to do in this world. Oh man, I forgot about Hulked Out Wolverine from World War Hulks. Well, Colt Kid, we can always discuss that in the channel members section. And you know what, that brother, I'm inclined to agree with this guy. Well, that is a solid 10 right here. Right. I'm going to wrap up this live stream, but channel members, we're going to go straight over to the channel members section. It's going to take me 2 minutes to just set it up, and then boom, we're going to go straight in there. So again, thank you so much for watching. This was really good fun. We're going to do more of these lists in the next few days. So if you're not a channel member, I will see you in the next live stream. And channel members, I'll see you in the after party. So until then,
Patience time.
Random with another 10, thank you. I like this. Y'all remember the other creepy shift games that we played? better. That's what I thought. Roll with the 5. Thank you. Gotta pop another one. Gotta pop another one. Number 4. Cheers. Please stop, which means either I stop taking the call drops or I stop the stream. I'm relying on these right now. Cody, what's in there? Name of this game is Creepy Shift. Uncle Joe's Motel. You better believe it. I've played the other games from this dev. They've all been bangers, not only line. So let's see what we got. We'll turn that FOD up to 90 because we're real gamers up in here. Head bob, turn that off. You already know it's real. Free fire and sensitivity. Yeah.
This my shit. I don't want to for real like this. Ain't no holding back.
Let's go. Lock in.
I think that looks nice.
Watch the intro and experience the full game. That was kind of cool.
I don't mind that.
Creepy shit. Uncle Joe's Motel. Uncle Joe got a motel.
Tastes different. For me, it's like smoking a cigarette but can't see. Just because my partner is
Okay.
I'm coming back because, for now, my agent doesn't have any roles for me.
Oh, you in the Hollywood trying to get
I'll
actor?
go to my uncle's place for a while, make some good cash, and then shouldn't be boring. Apparently, strange things have been happening. The sort that don't fit into police reports. Over the phone, my uncle sent a
where my photos at? Dark sound. What is this? A scary fact app? Notes? And we have a notes app. What is this? I'm gonna stop at 7 letters. That was fun. That was fun. That was fun. What, 1,000? Sure. I'm gonna pass out. Ooh. I got quit. I'm done. I got job to do. I'm already slacking off on my first day on the job. I can't be doing that. Alright, find the key to the reception desk. Uncle sent you an SMS message with instructions. I saw his message. Let me look at it again from Uncle. I'm assuming it's from that red bucket right there. Appreciate that, Uncle Joe. Yes, it is. Right there. Boom. Bucket deal. Okay. Reception. Clean. Are we gonna have customers pulled up, or am I just like cleaning up the place? That's the real question here. It's reception. Okay, let's go in there. Hello? Am I just gonna be working the front desk? That'd be nice if I didn't have to be really cleaning or nothing. I'm just working the front desk. Ooh, it's a little Wait, we have a rope cat or something? There's a cat tree here with some toys and a pig. Ooh. How do you throw? Okay. What's my instructions right now? Oh, Lord, put that back up here. Stop. Stop. Okay, that's fine. Lord have mercy. Oh my goodness, get away from me. Turn the fan off for the ambulance. Goodness. Oh my goodness. Alright, tasks. Check the washing instructions. Learn how to use the washing machine in the laundry room. Okay, what's this right here? What is this? Rule number 1. Do not stay inside the motel rooms without light. She loves everything connected with death, especially the depths of darkness.
They don't know the first thing about you. Go Walmart Plus. Like their Walmart Plus members get free delivery on more than just groceries. Free delivery on these apples and this shirt. Knowing about Walmart Plus is a beautiful thing.
When you're ready for spring break, emphasis on the break.
lot of things you can't reverse. Gray hair used to be one of them. Just remain gray reverse. Get your color back.
Imagine there was more of you. When you partner with Paychex, we become an extension of your team. From easy online payroll and benefits to expert HR advice, we give you more of you.
Picture, picture.
You should join Visible. It's only $25 a month. What?
Unlimited data and hotspot. All on Verizon's 5G network for just $25 a month. Tell your people. Plans starting at $25 a month. Taxes and fees included. Visible. Live in the know.
Sometimes the TV plays eerie lullabies to let them. It's her way to tear down the line between life and death. Okay, Uncle Joe, on second thought, I don't think I would work here. Not gonna lie, Uncle Joe. I didn't know we was gonna be giving all this, Uncle Joe. Like what? Rule number 1. Alright, I still gotta check the washing instructions. They're washing. What is this? Oh, let's go straight to the outside, okay? What are these? Electric supply to certain rooms. I'm running the whole thing, dude. We're having some issues with the lights. Sometimes the power trips. What happens, lift the lever to a matching number to restore the electricity. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get fired. There's too much power. Lord have mercy. What's this room? Oh, this the washing machine. Are these the instructions? Let me see. How to wash dirty laundry. Put the dirty laundry into the washing